I'm struggling with embracing.
Okay.
I had an accident, injury, and due to that I sleep badly at night, I headache. I just sat at the beginning of the meditation and I wanted to go to my head, but it was hurting. Tinnitus.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go there and embrace it, but there is resistance to be there because when I'm here in the group, I want to do more, speak more, sleep well, and but it isn't. It's this.
Yeah.
I'm struggling at that moment. I pain in my head. And I thought, well, I don't have a head. What's? It's really strange. And at one side, I can see the accident as some kind of present, a switch I made, but the consequences. When I'm alone at home, it seems like I can better handle it alone at home. But here with other people, and I don't know. I want to be someone else.
Yeah.
I want to be more, less overstimulating and. Noise, it's too much noise and I don't want that. I want to enjoy and participate and be myself, but I know I am this. Now I am not this, but
yeah.
This is my avatar of
yes.
But sometimes it's hard and I sat here and emotions, I cry a lot due to the injury. I don't like that also. So that's a struggle. There's a lot of happening and this is what happens. So I want to go there, but my head is hurting and I don't want it. So it's really strange.
Yes.
Yeah, don't know.
From what I gather, you're resisting the symptoms of your, you could say the symptoms of your development. It's not a pretty path, as you've experienced.
No.
It's not like so it's easy to resist the discomfort. Discomfort is natural. So we can often think, oh, this discomfort is the suffering. This discomfort is the thing I need to get rid of. This discomfort is what will leave if I am spiritually aligned. But it's not. Discomfort is a natural phenomenon. We could just call it pain. Discomfort is like pain, not physical pain. It can be, but it's discomfort. We can summarize it as pleasure and pain. There's pleasure and there's pain. And what you're going through is not necessarily your suffering, but only because you're resisting the discomfort. You're not suffering because that is what suffering is. You're having discomfort and then you're resisting the discomfort. So you're adding the extra layer. And we can easily mistake. It's like the same with anger. Most people see anger as suffering, but it's not. Blame is the suffering. Blame is the resistance to the anger, or shame, or guilt. That is they're the resistances to the anger. And we usually have anger and blame as synonymous because we think, well, I shouldn't be angry if there's no one to make me angry. Why would I be angry, right? Because we constantly put conditions on what we feel. So the resistance to our anger is what causes the suffering and not the anger. In this instance, the resistance to the discomfort, the symptoms, is what is creating the suffering and not the symptoms. So the only way to see it, and this is what I learned when I came back from India and I was at my parents', and I was just so excited to be this bubbling, shining light in my family home. It's like Ram Dass says, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. So I spent a good 3 or 4 years with my family, so I had the perfect amount of time there. And it took me about 2 years to realize this. I had this kind of like weird dynamic with my stepmom, and I also had a weird dynamic with my family. I felt like when they left the house, I'm singing, dancing in the kitchen, and when they're there, I'm not. Very much not. And I was wondering, why is that? Why when they leave the house, I'm like, just I feel so much more joy, and when they're in, I'm like, I'm not going to say not joyful, but I'm just closed off. My heart is closed. I'm not, if I walk into the kitchen and one of my family members are there, I'm just like, there's no conversation that comes by. You know what I mean? I'm like, I would try and force conversation. So I'm in the kitchen with my stepmom, and she's, making a cup of tea. I'm like, what did you do yesterday? How was work? I'm like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like forcing it to come out. And then at the dinner table, I'm sitting at the dinner table, and I'm like trying to make conversation that is inauthentic, and I just can't do it. So I even asked Rupert about this, and Rupert said to me he said, well, just be with your being and start to embrace, when you're in your home and you find yourself resisting, I can't even really remember. It whatever it was, it didn't suffice for me at the time, because I don't think he fully understood what I was going through. And what was really happening was that I wasn't resisting my family home. I was resisting who I was in my family home. I wasn't resisting my family. I was resisting myself. And I wasn't accepting who I was in those moments. So every time I was at the dinner table and I didn't feel the urge to speak out, I thought that was a fault of myself. Every time I was walking to the kitchen and I couldn't feel the spark of a conversation, I thought that was a fault of myself. The minute I started to realize, wow, so this whole time I was just not accepting that I was just more quiet, less talkative, less myself in those moments. And that was okay. That was completely okay. So I just started to accept, if I'm at home, this is who I am. When I'm with my friends or when everyone's out of the house, that is who I am. And equally, all of those things are okay. So when I'm with my family, I can be quiet. I can be more shy. I can be more whatever. And that's also an equally valid part of my mind. And then within about 6 months, everything changed completely. Every time I'd sit in the kitchen, in the living room, I would go into the living room just to be with my family and see if anything was going to change. I noticed that, okay, I'm trying to do that to make it change. So I stopped trying to do those things, like trying to put myself in a position where maybe somehow I'll start being myself again, because I noticed, that's me resisting it again. That's me resisting myself. So I just carried on living my life as normal, just on normal. No spiritual conditioning telling me I should behave in a certain way, or I should use my family home as a training ground, right? To somehow get more enlightened. It doesn't make any sense, right? So all this spiritual conditioning, and even the thing that Ram Dass says is a beautiful and it's funny thing, but we can't take these things too literally, because all of a sudden, like I just mentioned, we start using these places as training grounds, and they're not training grounds. You see, these are our family. It's like, I don't want to be treated as a training ground. Do you want to be treated as a training ground? Oh yeah, you're there just to trigger me, so that it's not really a loving thing to see it with. So, I started to do those things. I said, I notice I'm going in the living room now purely just to try and make something happen. I'm just going to do it if I want to. And if I don't want to, well, I can't just force that. So then I would start to sometimes, well, maybe I'll go in there for like 10 minutes and just like, just go on my laptop. And then I would feel the urge to try and spark a conversation and force it. And I just wouldn't do it. And then I just started to let everything happen naturally. And then there was not even an issue after that. I didn't even notice the difference of whether I was less myself, more myself. It was just natural. And then all of a sudden, the whole family dynamic changed. So the point I'm making is that let it just be natural. See who you are in these moments as just natural. Natural means, well, I don't need to do anything about it. Natural is okay. It's innocent. There's nothing to change about it. There's nothing to do about it. And then all of a sudden, you stop resisting the symptoms. And when you stop resisting the symptoms, the cause is able to expand. The cause of the symptoms starts to dissolve. The cause. So
Cause.
Yeah. Sorry about my accent. I didn't even realize that I couldn't speak the other day. So the way to see this is with natural, innocent eyes. Every time that you experience yourself in this way, you cannot force yourself to be different. But what you can do is see yourself with innocence, see yourself as completely natural, and just see that this is who I am when I'm in these circumstances, and that's completely fine. And you can start to enjoy that part of yourself. Enjoy that part of yourself. Don't push it away anymore. You can give yourself permission to let that be your happy place. Give yourself permission to let that part of you be happy with exactly how it is. It's natural to resist a headache. A headache is painful. If you didn't resist a headache, you'd probably dehydrate and die, right? So headaches are there for a reason. So the thing there's a thin line between what becomes discomfort and what's actual physical pain. Things like headaches are there usually to make us act. It's like if something is sticking in my leg, it will hurt. The pain is there to give appropriate action to whatever that thing is. If there wasn't enough pain, I'd be like, oh, there's a stick in my leg, but it kind of feels all right. I'll deal with that later, right? And then all of a sudden we can't move our leg anymore. So like the pain will give appropriate response. With a headache, the thing to distinguish is whether the headache is making you, provoking you to, or prompting you to take physical action, or if the headache is purely psychological, from psychological cause. If it's a prompt to take physical action, like drink more water, you drink more water. If it's a prompt that it's a psychological cause, drinking more water won't get rid of the headache. The psychological cause is coming from stress, the contraction. So yes, you might be physically contracting, but the physical contraction isn't coming from a physical cause, it's coming from psychological cause. You see the difference?
Yeah.
If it was like headache because you just got banged in the head, then yeah, it's different, right? It's physical cause. Or if it's a headache because you haven't drunk enough water, again, physical cause. If it's a headache from psychological stress, psychological cause. Therefore, physical action won't work. So when it becomes psychological, we treat that exactly like we treat any other emotion. We don't treat it. You don't need to treat it. It doesn't need to be treated. Because the headache is not the thing making the headache. You see? Headaches don't make headaches, right? So, in the same way, if you know, and this is the thing that you have to see, if you know the headache, and this works for all pain symptoms, like people have like chronic pain and things like that, like pain that is not even, it's purely psychological, physical pain. you just treat it like you would any emotion. You stop trying to get rid of it, because the symptom is not physical, so you can't remove something that isn't physical. And that means then that you come back to this forgiveness and you see clearly it isn't getting me to drink more water. It's not a physical cause. And then all of a sudden you start to realize, wow, there's nothing I can do to get rid of it. Maybe I don't need to get rid of it. If I don't need to get rid of it, and I know that I'm safe, the headache's not going to kill me, nothing's going to happen, you will change the levels of stress in your mind just from that realization. If you can literally just tell your mind, this is not going to kill me, this is absolutely fine, it's not going to just make the headache disappear, because you don't need it to beyond that point, because you will no longer start resisting it, so the headache can be there as long as it wants. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Then all of a sudden the symptom can be there without your resisting it. If you don't resist the symptom disappears. The cause, when it's psychological, disappears.
Hey, if you like this video, I do calls like this every single week in my free community. The link's in the description if you'd like to check that out. Thank you very much. Bye.